What's up guys, Qehzy here bringing you guys another tutorial, this time a Photoshop tutorial, which is unusual, I guess, considering about 95% of my tutorials are in Cinema 4D and I only have one other one that's in Photoshop, and I'm actually probably going to delete it after this video because it's really bad and outdated. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to edit your renders in like when you first bring it into Photoshop, before you even put it on your background and stuff. I believe Squins has a tutorial on this, but his wasn't really in depth. Mine probably won't be that in depth either. Mine's pretty much just gonna be for my style. However, I'm getting text, and yeah, and what I do to make my renders look the way they do. So yeah, but first, when you're just gonna want to render out your logo, text, whatever. And let me find one that I want to do. Let's do this one, I guess. Alright, so this is actually my Squins model, which is kind of weird, but yeah. So first off, I don't know why I do this to rasterize instead of actually clicking and rasterize. But I just get the eraser tool and click and then just click OK, but that's, I don't know why I do that, I just do. But yeah, so you do that, double click on the render, go to gradient overlay, make it overlay, just keep it black and white, and just bring the opacity down somewhere between 1 and 10. Doesn't really matter, I just like making mine subtle. You can make yours stronger if you really want, but I don't, because it always seems to mess me up. And then you're going to want to click drop shadow, make the opacity 20, make the distance 0, spread 30, size 20. And then last, you just want to do inner glow, and you can make this kind of white. You can keep it semi-colored as well, which is what I like to do. And then you're just going to make that overlay and bring the opacity down at like 35-ish. So yeah, like that. And then click OK. And then you can check this with your color correction stuff. As you can see, looks quite dark still, except up here it's a little too bright. But yeah, so after you do that, go to the render, duplicate it, Command J to duplicate, shortcut. Hide the drop shadow so you don't get a huge black thing underneath. That was not racist. Then duplicate the one you duplicated and bring it below all the original render. Then with that one, you're going to want to Control T, bring it up a little bit to the right and bring it down a bit to the left, using the corners and holding Shift so it's even. And you're going to want to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, 1.5. Click OK and turn on your color correction for this and bring down the opacity to see where you like it. So something like that works for me. Go to the originally duplicated render, or yeah, render. It should be the top layer. Go to Filter, Filter Gallery. Go to Stylize and Glowing Edges. Make the edge width 1, edge brightness 11 or 10. Either one works. I use 11. And smoothness about 4, although you can change it depending on how much you want it. And just click OK, and then go to Linear Dodge, Add, and bring the opacity down to about 25 to 20. Make sure your color correction is on, just play with it. And I'm actually gonna go about 28 there. I like that. And once you do that, you can either merge all these layers, merge just the top two, or not merge any. I like to merge the top two personally. Occasionally I merge all three, but I like the blurry one in the background just to kind of chill out by itself, because you may end up adjusting it and stuff, and it really doesn't need textures or anything. So just merge those top two layers, and then make a new layer and right click and create a clip mask, and then turn on your color correction for this step. As you can see, some spots are darker than others. You're going to want to get your brush and just make all the dark spots a little brighter, like so. And you can either make it an overlay or just bring down the opacity on normal, depending on how dark it is. If it's really dark and you need to brighten up, just make it white and put it on normal and drag down the opacity. But for this, I'm just going to make this overlay and drag it down a bit. And then I'm going to go to the really white spots, not being racist, and make those black, not being racist again. And for the black, I usually don't put it on an overlay because it usually doesn't do anything. And then just bring down the opacity so it's kind of grayish, show like that. And then for anything you have on your render, like I have these weird little modeled sphere things and whatnot, I like to brighten those up. So I'll go back to white and just kind of brighten them up. And just put those on overlay and adjust the opacity. And of course you're gonna want to get more in detail with this. For things you have colored, like I have these models around here. What I did in the original one is I made this more blue, and I have electric coming from here. You can't really see it now because I didn't actually add like a white brush over it. See it? I can just do that right now, and then turn down the opacity a little bit, and you can see that electric's coming there. What I did is kind of made this part more blue where the electric connected. It just kind of made it look better. And then I also made the spheres in there blue, and anything on the model blue as well, which one needed to pop out a little more. And also you can make them white to make them stand out if you want to make them brighter. But yeah, so after that, you're just going to want to get some metal textures you have. It doesn't really even matter which ones you use. I use different ones all the time. Actually, I don't like those ones. Alright. But yeah, so these metal textures are from an extremely old pack. I don't even know what pack it is. But you just bring it on and rasterize it, make sure it's rasterized. Make it clip masking, overlay, bring the opacity down to about 10 to 20, and you can add multiple metal textures, it doesn't really matter. And it just gives it a nice look. You can kind of see it there, the effect it gives. But yeah, so now I'm going to show you guys how to finish the background. So after you do all this stuff and put it on your background, add your stocks and all that good stuff, you get something like this. And what you're going to want to do is get everything. Well, first go to your top layer, make a new group, and select everything except the bottom black layer, the background layer, and put it into said group that you just made. So you should have a group and then the background layer, and unselect the group. Actually, select the group. Go to File, Save for Web, and at this point you can look at the background at very high quality, see any mistakes you made. I believe I made 3 on this one originally. There's probably still some there that I missed. Can't be perfect. And then make sure it's PNG 24 and go to save and save it as whatever you want. I saved mine as 1A because it's the first file that's there. As you can see, I already have one. And after you do that, you're just gonna uncheck the group, find where you just save that to, and just drag it back on, rasterize it. Then I have markings up a while, and you're just going to delete the part that's not even going to be seen on YouTube. So like the top and bottom banner parts, I guess to call them. So yeah, delete those, and you should just have the banner now with the black background. And first step in this is just duplicate it. Go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and you can go sideways, top, bottom, or diagonally, either way. I usually go from side to side because it seems to fit my style better. It might fit your style a bit differently. You never know. And I make the distance 50 usually. You can always play around with that. It's not really that big of a deal. And click OK, and then go to Lighten, and you should get like a kind of, it looks like it's kind of glowing, I guess. And then you're gonna want to bring down the opacity. I usually do about 30, I think, when I use 50, so you can just do whatever you want, or do exactly what I do, doesn't really matter. But then just merge those two layers that you just used. Then you're going to go to Filter, Distort, Ripple, put it on 25%, click OK. You won't even notice anything probably unless you have really good eyes, which I don't, so maybe if you have normal eyes you can see it, I don't know. And you should get a slight ripple throughout the background, which you don't really notice on the actual background when it's on YouTube, but I think it does actually add something to it, but I don't know what, so yeah, whatever. Next step, duplicate the layer 2 times, so you have a total of 3. Double click on the top one, click the green box, or so unselect it, click OK, Control T, move over to the right one spot with the arrow keys, click OK, and then double click on the second layer, uncheck the R and the B, and so this would be purple, this little square. Click OK, Control T, and move over to the left one with the arrow keys, and then select those 2 layers that you just edited, and bring the opacity down to about 60 or 50, and I'm gonna go in between at 55, and select all those layers and merge them. And okay, we're running low on time, and then duplicate it again, Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, 1.5. You're just gonna erase any name or text that's on it, so I erase my signature and the name of the guy whose background it's for. I guess I probably worded that wrong. And then just erase any other just random marks. Doesn't have to have any theme to it, just put streaks in wherever. And then just merge those 2 layers. Then finally duplicate for the last time, Filter, Sharpen, Sharpen more, and just bring down the opacity to about 35. And actually probably go lower than that, but whatever. And then just merge, and if you want to change color, just go to Control U, do whatever. If you want it like more dull, bring down the saturation, or if you want it hecka bright, which I usually do because YOLO swaggy. And yeah, so just make it whatever, do it green because why not, and then you're pretty much done. You can make a color split if you want and all that good stuff. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. If it helped you, leave a like, and if you want to see more tutorials, please subscribe. Almost at 2K, by the way, so if you guys have any suggestions for 2K, message me or leave a comment, I don't care. But peace off, guys.